Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. Nestled in a valley embraced by gently rolling hills, the old village of Eldermore lay quietly, as if cradled by the very arms of time. The air hung heavy with the sweet, refreshing scent of pine, mingling with the earthy aroma of damp soil after a soft rain. As twilight descended, a hush enveloped the village, broken only by the faint rustle of leaves in the evening breeze and a distant echo, reminiscent of laughter long past. Weathered wooden houses lined the cobblestone paths, their shutters painted in fading colors, stories etched into their very frames. Each structure seemed to breathe history, inviting those who wandered close to capture fragments of its untold tales. Worn steps led to heavy doors, some adorned with intricate carvings that whispered of artisans' hands from ages ago. The reflections of flickering candlelight shimmered through the panes, casting warm pools of golden light onto the cobblestones, illuminating the way for the few who still ventured out at dusk. The narrator, a wanderer returning to Eldermore after many years, felt an almost magnetic pull towards the familiar paths. Every corner turned sparked gentle memories. Each ripple in the wind rekindled a piece of the past. Childhood summers spent chasing shadows amongst the tall grasses of the meadow, the echoing laughter of friends by the old oak tree, and the comforting sound of a mother's voice calling from the kitchen, inviting all to gather around the table. In the heart of the village stood the cottage where these memories shimmered most vividly. Its thatched roof, now adorned with moss, was a testament to countless seasons weathered together. This was not just a structure. It was a sanctuary of warmth, laughter, and shared moments. The narrator paused outside, tracing the outlines of the cottage with their eyes, a sense of belonging washing over them. The door creaked softly as it swung open, revealing a modest interior that had withstood the passage of time. Wooden beams arched overhead like the embracing arms of loved ones long gone. The faint scent of aged wood lingered in the air, wrapping around the narrator like a comforting shawl. Dust motes danced in the solitary beam of light that fell through the window, celebrating the stillness of this sacred space. Inside, each artifact told a story. A weathered rocking chair stood sentinel by the hearth, often claimed by the evening's chill, where tales were spun and secrets shared. The once vibrant tapestry hung slightly askew on the wall, depicting seasons in bloom with flowers hand-woven into the fabric of memory. There was a framed portrait of a family, faces full of life and laughter, now softened by the years. Yet, even as the dust settled, love lingered, poised on the edge of remembrance. The narrator drifted through the cottage, the floorboards creaking softly beneath their weight, echoing the laughter and sorrows that had filled the air. Each room held a whisper, a reminder of moments suspended in time. The kitchen bore the faint mark of flour on the counter, an echo of late-night baking sessions, while the small dining table still held a slight indentation where countless elbows rested during shared meals. From the window, the views stretched far beyond the village toward the horizon, where the last rays of the sun dipped below the hills, painting the sky with hues of lavender and gold. The hills stood as sentinels, witnessing the passage of time and the romances of seasons changing, just as they had for generations. The narrator recalled the sensation of sitting on the porch, legs dangling over the edge, the horizon stretching endlessly like a promise of adventure, beckoning to be embraced. As twilight deepened, the first stars began to twinkle overhead, shimmering gems against the backdrop of a vast indigo canvas. The village began to fall quiet, the sounds of evening settling into a serene lullaby. The soft babble of the brook nearby accompanied the gentle rustle of the trees, as if nature itself hummed a soothing tune, inviting weariness to surrender to its lull. In this stillness, the narrator felt an overwhelming sense of peace. Old worries, once heavy like stones, began to slip away, replaced by the gentle embrace of familiarity. Eldermore was a treasure trove of warmth and solace, a place where footsteps faded but memories lingered on. The connection to this land, so rich with history, was grounded not merely in the physical but in the heart. In this quiet moment, reflections grew deeper. The slow, steady rhythm of life in Eldermore offered a reminder of simplicity, often lost in the rush of the world beyond its borders. Here, moments were cherished, friendships nurtured, and the laughter of children echoed across days, weaving a tapestry of love and belonging that transcended the very fabric of time. With each breath, the narrator inhaled the essence of Eldermore, a village that cradled childhood memories, whispered from the rustling leaves, and thrummed with a heart that beat in time with their own. The sacred bond forged over years turned to a gentle understanding. This place was home, a haven against the storms of life, where one could always return, finding solace in its embrace. As shadows lengthened and the soft glow of the cottage warmed the darkening lane, the narrator took one last glance at the familiar surroundings. The journey ahead promised discovery, yet the love rooted in Eldermore would always beckon them back. Tonight, amidst the silence of the stars and the caress of the night wind, they surrendered to the embrace of nostalgia, allowing the memories to weave themselves softly into a comforting blanket of dreams. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. The soft glow of dusk enveloped the village of Eldermore as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in delicate hues of lavender and gold. The winding roads, familiar yet slightly overgrown, beckoned the narrator forward. With each step, the crunch of gravel beneath their feet harmonized with the distant cooing of pigeons settling in for the night. The air carried the crisp scent of earth, mingling with the faint aroma of smoke rising from chimneys, signaling the start of evening rituals in the homes nearby. As they strolled along the cobblestone paths, the narrator paused to admire the worn wooden fences that lined the properties. Each splintered post whispered tales of long-forgotten conversations shared over garden gates. Children's laughter, once vibrant and full of life, now echoed only in the corridors of memory. It was here, by these very fences, that long summer afternoons were spent chasing fireflies, the golden glow of the setting sun casting playful shadows on the ground. With every familiar landmark that appeared, a wave of nostalgia washed over the narrator. The old oak tree at the village square, gnarled and wise, stood as a silent witness to countless gatherings. Beneath its branches, picnics had unfolded, laughter shared, and secrets whispered. The narrator could almost hear the echoes of those simpler days, where time seemed to stretch infinitely, unburdened by the weight of adulthood. The tree's roots descended deep into the earth, symbolizing a connection between the past and the present, an anchor amidst the tides of change. As they continued their leisurely stroll, the narrator's gaze drifted towards the old bridge arching gracefully over the stream. The wooden planks creaked softly underfoot, a sound that seemed to resonate with the heartbeat of the village itself. Memories of childhood adventures rushed back, the thrill of racing across the bridge, the anticipation of discovering treasures in the stream below. Pebbles had been tossed into the water, each splash a small celebration, a moment etched forever in the tapestry of their youth. Now the bridge appeared weary, its once vibrant paint peeling and fading, much like the memories it held. Yet there was beauty in its decay, a reminder that time, while relentless, also held a certain grace. The narrator felt a pang of longing. The innocence of those days could never be reclaimed, but perhaps it could be cherished. Beyond the bridge, the path meandered through a thicket of wildflowers, their petals dancing gently in the evening breeze. The air was filled with the soft hum of crickets, a lullaby that wrapped around the narrator like a comforting shawl. Here, the secrets of the village seemed to whisper from the petals, each flower a witness to the dreams and heartaches that unfolded in this tranquil setting. As twilight deepened, the narrator approached the edge of the village, where an abandoned house stood sentinel against the encroaching night. The wooden exterior, once a cheerful shade of blue, now wore a cloak of peeling paint, each flake revealing the history beneath. The windows, dark and vacant, held no light, yet they seemed to beckon with a sense of intrigue. What stories lay within those walls, unspoken and forgotten? The narrator recalled the tales told by the village elders, of laughter that once echoed through the halls, of warmth that filled the rooms during winter nights when families gathered around the hearth. It was here that friendships blossomed and love stories began, the house a silent witness to both joy and sorrow. Each creak of the dilapidated structure resonated with memories, an invitation to reflect on the passage of time and the fragility of life. Standing before the house, the narrator felt a blend of sadness and reverence. The village had changed, as all things do. Some houses had been lovingly restored, while others had succumbed to the relentless march of time. Yet within this shift lay a deeper truth. Life ebbed and flowed, much like the seasons. The old house, despite its abandonment, held a beauty all its own, a testament to resilience and the stories that lingered in the air. As the stars began to twinkle overhead, the narrator turned away from the house, the weight of its memories still heavy in their heart. They continued their journey, feeling the soft caress of the night air against their skin, a reminder that even in change there is a sense of belonging. The village, with its winding roads and weathered charm, cradled the essence of their childhood, intertwining their past with the present. The lanterns flickered to life in the windows of nearby homes, each glow illuminating the darkness and casting gentle shadows on the cobblestones. The warm light felt like a comforting embrace, inviting the narrator to share in the stories of those who still called Eldermore home. With each step, they felt a deeper connection to the village, as if the very earth beneath their feet resonated with the heartbeat of those who had come before. Reflecting on these memories, the narrator began to understand the bittersweet nature of nostalgia. While the footprints of the past may fade, the essence of those moments lives on, woven into the fabric of the village. Change, though sometimes jarring, brought with it the opportunity for new stories to emerge, new laughter to fill the air, and new memories to be forged. As they reached the familiar trail leading back to the cottage, the narrator felt a sense of peace wash over them. The journey through Eldermore had rekindled the warmth of their childhood, igniting a spark of hope for what lay ahead. They understood that the village, with all its imperfections, was a part of them, an everlasting bond that would never truly fade. With the night deepening around them and the stars twinkling like distant lanterns in the sky, the narrator embraced the quietude of the moment. There was solace in the stillness of the village, a reminder that even when footsteps fade, the essence of those who walked before lingers on, eternally entwined with the land. Now, let your thoughts drift away and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As twilight deepened over Eldermore, the village transformed into a haven of shadows and soft whispers. The air grew cooler, carrying the scent of damp earth and the faintest hint of wood smoke curling from chimneys. It was in this peaceful hour that memories of the communal cabin flickered to life in the narrator's mind, a place where laughter mingled with the crackling of firewood, where the warmth of companionship filled the chilled air. The communal cabin stood at the village's edge, sturdy yet inviting, its timber walls bearing witness to countless gatherings. The narrator recalled the way the golden light spilled through the windows, illuminating the faces of the elders as they shared tales of days gone by. The cabin was not just a structure, it was a vessel of stories, a heart beating in time with the pulse of Eldermore itself. In those evenings, the narrator would sit cross-legged on the rough-hewn floor, surrounded by the village's elders, whose voices wove rich tapestries of history. Each story carried the weight of experience, like the heavy woolen blankets draped over the backs of the wooden chairs. The elders spoke of harvests and hardships, of love and loss, their words falling like gentle rain on the eager ears of the young. One story stood out, a cherished memory from the autumn of the narrator's youth. It was about the great storm that had swept through Eldermore, a tempest that had lashed against the village with ferocity. As the winds howled like a wild beast, the elders had gathered in the cabin, their faces illuminated by the flickering firelight. They had shared tales of courage and resilience, of how the village came together to weather the storm, reinforcing both their houses and their bonds. The narrator remembered the sense of safety, wrapped in the warmth of the cabin as the winds raged outside. As the narrator's mind wandered, the soft crackle of the fire seemed to echo the heartbeat of the village. It reminded them of the subtle strength found in a close-knit community, and how each voice contributed to a larger symphony of existence. The shared moments around that fire were not merely entertainment. They were lessons in empathy, in understanding the fabric that bound the villagers together. The cabin was adorned with artifacts that spoke of the village's history. A worn-out quilt draped over a forgotten chair, each patch telling a story of its own. On the mantelpiece, old photographs captured fleeting moments, frozen in time. Children with beaming smiles, couples in love, elders gathered for a communal feast. These images resonated with a sense of belonging, a reminder that the past was not lost, but rather lived on in the hearts of those who remembered. As night settled in, the narrator felt a deeper appreciation for the wisdom shared by the elders. They had been stewards of knowledge, imparting lessons that transcended generations. With each story, the villagers learned the importance of resilience, of finding joy in simplicity, and of nurturing the connections that made life rich. The cabin had witnessed laughter and tears, celebrations and farewells, all woven into the very essence of Eldermore. In that moment of reflection, the narrator understood how vital these gatherings were to personal growth. The stories didn't just entertain, they nurtured the soul, fostering a sense of identity and purpose. They were a reminder that even in solitude, one was never truly alone, for the spirit of community lingered like a gentle breeze, ever present, guiding each individual towards greater understanding and compassion. The soft sounds of night enveloped the village, the only interruptions being the distant hoot of an owl and the rustling of leaves stirred by the wind. The narrator felt a longing to revisit that sacred space, to sit once more among the elders, to absorb their warmth and wisdom. The communal cabin was more than just a building. It was a sanctuary where the heart found solace and the spirit felt nurtured. As the stars began to twinkle overhead, the narrator's thoughts drifted back to the ways in which community shaped individual lives. Each villager, with their unique story, contributed to the rich tapestry of Eldermore. They were like threads interwoven, creating a larger picture that depicted not just their village, but their shared experiences, struggles, and triumphs. The importance of these bonds became ever clearer as the narrator walked the familiar paths leading back to the cottage. Each step resonated with a sense of purpose, as if the earth itself whispered secrets of the past. The village was alive with echoes, of laughter, of shared sorrows, and of the quiet strength that emerged in times of need. Inside the cottage, the warmth of the hearth beckoned. The flickering flames danced in the fireplace, casting playful shadows on the walls, while the aroma of aged wood and the faint scent of lavender hung in the air. Here, the narrator felt the embrace of home, the sanctuary that held both cherished memories and the promise of new beginnings. Settling into a chair by the fire, they closed their eyes, allowing the comforting sounds of crackling wood to wash over them. The warmth enveloped them like a soft blanket, and the stories shared around the communal cabin began to play like a gentle film in their mind. The laughter of the elders, the shared meals, the moments of reflection, all intertwined, creating a rich fabric of belonging. In this stillness, the narrator understood that while time passed and the village changed, the essence of Eldermore remained steadfast. It was a place where footsteps faded, yet the stories echoed through the hearts of those who remembered. The wisdom of the elders, the warmth of the cabin, and the bonds of community would continue to flourish, passing from one generation to the next. As the night deepened, a sense of peace settled over the village, like a soft blanket of snow. The stars twinkled brightly in the vast sky, a reminder of the infinite stories yet to be told. The narrator felt a deep connection to the fabric of Eldermore, knowing that their journey was intertwined with the lives of those who had come before. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets of Eldermore, the wanderer continued to explore the village, the chill in the air whispering secrets long forgotten. The soft crunch of leaves beneath their feet accompanied each step, a gentle reminder of the quiet life that thrived here. The fading light painted the world in hues of deep blue and gray, wrapping the village in a comforting embrace of dusk. Wandering deeper into the heart of Eldermore, the narrator's gaze fell upon an abandoned wooden cart, half hidden by a curtain of ivy. Time had worked its magic on the once vibrant paint, leaving only traces of its former glory. Pushing aside thoughts of nostalgia, the wanderer approached, curiosity piqued. The cart held remnants of a life that had been, perhaps once used for carrying fresh produce or bundles of hay. Now it stood still, a vessel of memory, quietly rusting away, much like the stories that had shaped the village. As they examined the cart, something glinted in the fading light. A rusted key, small yet heavy with significance, lay nestled among the overgrown grass. The wanderer picked it up, turning it over in their hand. The weight of it sparked a wave of reflection. A key to what doors once opened? Was it a long-lost entry to a cherished home, or a forgotten shed where secrets were kept? Questions danced in their mind as they contemplated the life that had flowed through Eldermore, the countless hands that had held this very key. With the key tucked safely away, the wanderer turned towards the path leading further into the village. They followed the road as it curved gently, leading them to a quaint little library that had long stood as the village's heart. Its wooden sign, weathered and barely legible, swung lightly in the wind. The door creaked softly as they pushed it open, revealing a space filled with the comforting aroma of aged paper and ink. Dust motes danced in the shafts of light that filtered through the small, grimy windows. Inside, the shelves were lined with books of every size and shape, their spines telling stories of adventures, knowledge, and dreams left untold. The narrator's fingers traced the spines as they walked, each title evoking a memory of those who had once borrowed the books, stories shared, laughter exchanged, lives intertwined. In the far corner, a single weathered book caught their attention. Its cover was faded, the title nearly erased by time, but it drew the wanderer closer, almost as if it were whispering secrets. The book opened with a gentle sigh, revealing pages filled with delicate handwriting, a testament to its former owner. As the narrator read the flowing script, they discovered a treasure trove of dreams penned by a once hopeful soul. The words spoke of distant lands, of love, loss, and longing, a reflection of lives woven into the very fabric of Eldermore. Each page turned was a journey into the past, a reminder of the hopes that flourished and withered in the quiet corners of the village. Stirred by the discoveries, the wanderer sank into a nearby chair, the wood warm from the sunlight that peeked through the window. They closed their eyes for a moment, letting the memories wash over them. The weight of the key and the book filled their heart with both longing and acceptance. The beauty of the forgotten lay not in their physical form, but in the stories they held, the echoes of laughter and sorrow lingering in the air. Time slipped by, and the shadows grew deeper, the day surrendering to night. The wanderer reluctantly placed the book back on the shelf, a promise to return and unearth more forgotten tales. As they left the library, the village seemed quieter than before, the soft rustle of the wind and the distant hoot of an owl creating a lullaby of solitude. Emerging into the cool night, the wanderer felt the weight of the past resting comfortably on their shoulders. They walked with a new understanding, embracing the beauty in the mundane and the stories left behind. Each object they encountered, the rusted key, the weathered book, even the abandoned cart, became a thread in the tapestry of Eldermore, weaving together the lives that had come before. As the night deepened, the stars twinkled softly in the ink-black sky, a reminder of the countless dreams that had been cast into the universe. The wanderer paused, looking up at the celestial canopy, pondering the passage of time. The objects they had found were not merely remnants of neglect. They were markers of life, echoing the joys and sorrows of those who had walked these paths long before. Each step taken carried the weight of history, and with it a profound connection to the essence of home. The cobblestone streets wound back towards the cottage, the familiar scent of wood smoke wafting through the air, beckoning them closer. The windows flickered with a warm glow, a sign of life and warmth waiting inside. In that moment, the wanderer felt a sense of belonging wash over them, a gentle reminder that while time may fade physical forms, it cannot erase the memories etched within the heart. Stepping onto the threshold of their cottage, the wanderer paused once more, glancing back at the village now shrouded in quietude. Eldermore was a treasure trove of stories, each object and shadow steeped in significance. With a heart full of newfound appreciation, they stepped inside, closing the door softly behind them, sealing in the warmth and comfort of home. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As the day surrendered to night, the gentle patter of rain began to fall, each drop a soft whisper against the worn wooden rooftops of Eldermore. The air filled with the earthy scent of damp soil and old timber, pulling the narrator back to their childhood. They could almost hear the rhythm of raindrops, lulling them to sleep on cold winter nights, the sound mingling with the creaking of the cottage walls, creating a symphony of comfort and safety. In the heart of the village, the rain cast a glistening sheen over the cobbled streets, each stone reflecting the muted glow of distant lanterns. The familiar sound of water trickling down the eaves stirred something deep within the wanderer. It was as if the rain carried with it the echoes of laughter, the gentle murmur of conversations shared over warm cups of tea, and the tales spun by the village elders. Memories intertwined, wrapping around the present like the ivy that clung to the aged stone walls of the cottages. As the narrator paused beneath the shelter of an old oak tree, they felt the weight of acceptance wash over them. The village had changed, its vibrancy faded, yet the essence of Eldermore remained. The transformation was not merely a loss, but a canvas upon which new stories might be painted. The rain, with its cleansing touch, seemed to speak to that very evolution. It was a reminder that while some things fade, life continues, unfolding like the petals of a flower after a storm. Each droplet was a note in the symphony of renewal, a gentle reminder that after every storm, the world emerges anew. The rain was not just water, it was a bridge connecting the past to the future, a cycle of letting go and embracing what lies ahead. The wanderer contemplated the stories that had been lost, yet found solace in the thought that new memories could be crafted amidst the lingering shadows of the old. They recalled the mornings spent in the communal cabin, the elders' voices rising and falling like the hills surrounding the village. Their wisdom had shaped the very fabric of Eldermore, threading through the lives of its inhabitants. As the rain continued its gentle descent, the narrator could almost hear the faint echoes of those lessons, drifting through the cool air like the scent of wood smoke curling from the chimneys. One elder had often spoken of resilience, recounting tales of long-forgotten winters when the snow piled high and the village huddled together, sharing warmth and food. It was during those storms that neighbors became family, their bonds fortified by hardship and hope. The narrator felt a profound connection to that history, a realization that the essence of community endured, even in the face of change. The rain intensified, and in its rhythm the wanderer found a sense of clarity. Each droplet seemed to wash away remnants of doubt and fear, leaving behind only the purity of acceptance. The village may have lost its luster, but within its quiet corners lay the potential for new beginnings. The narrator understood now that the key they held was not merely a relic of the past, but a symbol of opportunity, a chance to unlock the doors of possibility that still awaited in the heart of Eldermore. With newfound determination, they ventured forward, splashing through puddles reflecting the soft glow of lantern light. The sound of the rain mingled with the distant echoes of laughter from the nearby tavern, where villagers gathered, sharing stories under a canopy of warmth. It reminded the wanderer of the nights spent there, surrounded by familiar faces, the clinking of glasses punctuating the air with camaraderie. As they approached the tavern, the rain began to lighten, shifting to a delicate mist that clung to the air. The wanderer paused at the threshold, feeling the warmth radiating from within. The flickering light cast playful shadows, illuminating the faces of those they once knew. Each expression carried a history, a shared moment etched in time. Stepping inside, the familiar scent of wood smoke and spiced cider enveloped them, wrapping them in a cloak of nostalgia. Conversations flowed like the rain outside, laughter spilling over tables adorned with hearty meals. The wanderers' hearts swelled as they spotted an empty chair at the corner table, a place once filled by friends who had moved on, yet whose spirits lingered like the echoes of the rain. They took a seat, allowing the atmosphere to envelop them fully. The warmth of the room contrasted sharply with the chill outside, filling them with a sense of belonging. It was here, amidst the soft chatter and clinking of mugs, that the wanderer realized the village was not defined by its fading structures, but by the resilience of its people. The rain outside, with all its gentleness, had brought them together once again. As the evening unfolded, stories were shared, each one a thread in the tapestry of Eldermore. The wanderer listened intently, absorbing the tales of others as they recounted memories both joyful and bittersweet. Each story was a reminder of the village's heartbeat, a pulse that continued to thrive despite the passage of time. Outside, the rain transformed into a soft drizzle, creating a soothing backdrop to the lively conversations within. The wanderer felt a sense of serenity wash over them, an acceptance of the changes that had shaped their journey. The cottage may have been weathered and worn, but it stood resilient, just like the villagers surrounding them. In the moments of quiet reflection, they understood now that their connection to Eldermore was unbreakable. The past had shaped them, yet the present offered a canvas for new stories to unfold. The rusted key, now resting in their pocket, symbolized the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with possibilities and the promise of renewal. As laughter filled the air, the wanderer found solace in the knowledge that while footsteps may fade, memories endure, weaving through the fabric of time. The rain, gentle and unyielding, became a metaphor for life itself, a cycle of loss and rebirth, a reminder that change brings with it the chance to embrace the beauty of what lies ahead. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. As the rain settled into a gentle cadence, the wanderer found themselves standing at the edge of the village square, surrounded by the echoes of footsteps long faded. Each puddle that formed on the cobblestones mirrored the past, capturing glimpses of those who had once filled the square with laughter and conversation. Eldermore, with its quaint charm and rustic simplicity, seemed to breathe stories into the damp air, weaving memories into the fabric of the village. The wanderer took a deep breath, allowing the scent of wet earth and moss to envelop them, stirring recollections of childhood games played in the very square where they now stood. The sounds of clattering wooden toys and cheerful shouts reverberated in their mind, each memory a stepping stone leading back to a simpler time. Yet, as they observed the quietude, a bittersweet realization crept in. The vividness of those moments existed only in the heart, while the presence of those who shared them had faded like the colors of an old photograph. As the last light of day succumbed to night, the warm glow of candles flickered in the windows of nearby cottages, each light a beacon of remembrance. The wanderer wandered towards an ancient oak that stood sentinel at the corner of the square, its gnarled branches stretching toward the heavens. The oak had witnessed the passage of time, holding secrets within its bark as surely as the villagers held on to their stories. Leaning against the sturdy trunk, the wanderer closed their eyes and let the whispers of the wind weave around them, carrying the voices of friends and family long gone. Their thoughts drifted to the rusted key, now resting in their pocket, a small artifact from a forgotten cart. What door did it open? Perhaps it revealed a hidden space within the village, a sanctuary where dreams were once shared, or a forgotten room filled with remnants of lives once lived. The key felt heavy with significance, a tangible link to the past, urging the wanderer to seek out the stories left behind. The rain began to soften, and the wanderer opened their eyes, gazing at the cobblestones shimmering under the pale glow of the moon. They recalled the weathered book they had found in the library, filled with dreams penned by a soul who had walked these very streets. Who was the owner? What hopes and aspirations did they weave into the pages? Each word had resonated with a longing for connection, revealing the emotional tapestry that intertwined the lives of the villagers. As the wanderer slowly walked along the path leading away from the square, they felt a warmth enveloping them, a profound understanding that while the physical presence of those who had once walked beside them may have faded, their essence lingered in the spaces between the cobblestones and the whispers of the wind. The memories they left behind formed a bridge, connecting the past to the present, a reminder that, though people may depart, their stories remain etched in the hearts of those who remember. The wanderer paused at the edge of the village, where the trees grew thicker, forming a boundary between the familiar and the unknown. A sense of peace washed over them as they contemplated the journey ahead. The quiet rustling of leaves seemed to echo their thoughts, affirming that every step forward was intertwined with the legacy of those who had shaped their existence. They were not simply a product of their memories. They were a continuation of the stories shared in the warmth of the communal cabin, the laughter of childhood games, and the wisdom of elders whose voices still drifted through the night air. With each soft footfall, the wanderer ventured deeper into the thicket, their heart beating in rhythm with the tranquil surroundings. The path meandered alongside the brook, where the gentle flow of water mirrored their contemplative spirit. They recalled the moments spent by the water's edge, the wildflowers bending to the whims of the breeze, and the way the sunlight danced on the surface like fleeting dreams. The brook had witnessed their laughter and sorrow, a silent confidant to their youthful musings. Nightfall enveloped Eldermore, thick and velvety, wrapping the village in a cloak of serene isolation. The wanderer paused beside the brook, allowing the cool air to brush against their skin, invigorating their spirit. Closing their eyes once more, they surrendered to the sounds of the night, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of an owl, and the gentle murmur of the brook flowing onward. In this moment of stillness, the wanderer felt an awakening within. They understood now that the fading footsteps were not a loss, but a testament to life's ebb and flow. Each person who had walked this path had left behind an imprint in the soil, a trace of their existence intertwined with the roots of the trees and the stones of the village. The wanderer was both a bearer of memories and a creator of new ones, standing on the threshold of what lay ahead. The realization settled in their heart like the softest of blankets, wrapping them in the warmth of acceptance. They were part of this tapestry, a single thread woven into the collective narrative of Eldermore. The past, while fading, remained vibrant in their soul, illuminating the path forward with the light of those who had come before. With a sense of resolution, the wanderer turned back towards the village, where the flickering candlelight beckoned them home. Each step was a soft echo in the night, a rhythmic reminder that they were not alone. The memories they carried would forever guide them, illuminating their journey as they embraced the beauty of both remembrance and renewal. As they approached the familiar sights of Eldermore, a gentle breeze swirled around them, whispering secrets of the past and promises of tomorrow. The wanderer smiled, knowing that while footprints may fade, the essence of those who walked before would always linger in the heart of the village. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. The village of Eldermore lay tranquil beneath a blanket of stars, each twinkling light a whisper of the past. The rain had come to a gentle stop, leaving behind a soft, glistening sheen on the cobblestone streets. A cool breeze danced through the alleys, carrying with it the earthy scent of damp soil and the faintest hint of wood smoke. The wanderer stood at the edge of the village square, feeling the weight of memories pressing softly against their heart. As they gazed into the distance, the silhouette of the old communal cabin stood proud, its weathered timbers a testament to the stories it held within. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. The wanderer recalled the laughter of children, the warmth of shared meals, and the gentle hum of voices weaving tales into the fabric of night. Each memory was a thread, pulling them back to moments that shaped their very essence. With a quiet determination, they turned and meandered through the winding paths of Eldermore, feeling the cool earth beneath their feet. The rusted key nestled in their pocket felt heavier now, a small burden that promised to unlock something long forgotten. They paused before a dilapidated cottage, its door slightly ajar, revealing a glimpse of shadows inside. The air around it hummed with an energy that seemed to pulse with the heartbeat of the village. Stepping inside, the familiar scent of aged wood enveloped them, rich with the stories of those who had once called this place home. Dust motes danced in the beams of moonlight that filtered through cracked windows, illuminating forgotten trinkets scattered about. A faded photograph hung crookedly on the wall, depicting a family gathered in front of the very cottage they now stood in. Their smiles, frozen in time, spoke of love and laughter, of a life lived fully. As the wanderer moved deeper into the cottage, their fingers brushed against a weathered table, its surface etched with the marks of countless meals shared. They could almost hear the echo of voices, the clatter of dishes, and the warmth of companionship that had once filled these walls. The key in their pocket felt like a connection to those moments, a bridge to the lives intertwined with their own. In the corner of the room sat an old trunk, its leather cracked and faded with time. The wanderer knelt before it, heart racing with anticipation. They fumbled for the key, its cold metal contrasting with the warmth of nostalgia swirling around them. With a gentle twist, the lock clicked open, and the lid creaked as it revealed its secrets. Inside lay a collection of letters, yellowed with age, tied together with fraying twine. The wanderer carefully untied the bundle, inhaling the faint scent of ink and paper. Each letter spoke of dreams, of hopes, and of lives lived in the embrace of Eldermoor's gentle landscape. They recognized the handwriting as belonging to the owner of the weathered book they had found in the library. As they read through the letters, a tapestry of emotions unfolded: longing, joy, sorrow, and love. The writer had poured their heart into these pages, chronicling the simple beauty of life in Eldermoor. They wrote of the changing seasons, of laughter shared beneath the old oak tree, and of the friendships that blossomed like wildflowers in the fields. The letters spoke of dreams that had once soared high, like kites dancing against a backdrop of blue skies, only to be gently tethered by the passage of time. With each letter, the wanderer felt a deeper connection to the village, as if the echoes of the past were wrapping around them like a warm embrace. They realized that though the writer had moved on, their spirit lingered in every corner of Eldermoor, in the laughter of the children playing in the square, and in the gentle rustle of leaves whispering secrets to the wind. Emerging from the cottage, the wanderers stood once more in the square, the cool night air brushing against their skin. The lanterns flickered softly, casting a warm glow that illuminated the stones beneath their feet. They could almost hear the faint echoes of footsteps, the laughter of friends gathered, and the stories exchanged, a living testament to the bonds that had been forged in this quiet village. The wanderer closed their eyes, allowing the memories to wash over them like a gentle tide. They had come to understand that life in Eldermoor was not merely a collection of moments, but a rich tapestry woven with love, loss, and hope. Each thread, each memory, was a reminder of the transient nature of existence, where the beauty lay not in permanence, but in the fleeting joy of shared experiences. As dawn began to break, the first light spilled over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of soft pink and gold. The village stirred gently, awakening to a new day filled with promise. The wanderer felt a profound sense of peace settle within them, a realization that the essence of Eldermoor would forever be a part of their soul. The stories, the laughter, the heartaches, all were threads that connected them to this place and to those who had come before. In that quiet moment, they embraced the simplicity of life and the beauty of memories, knowing that even as time moved forward, the spirit of Eldermoor would remain, vibrant and alive within their heart. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams.